like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings. This is the channel you need, so subscribe and follow.
It's time for another episode of Carmentary. Driving and talking. That's what Carmentary is all about. So it's been a little while since I had the opportunity to chat with you in my car. And right now I'm on my way out to Niseko. It is a beautiful morning. I'm looking at this fantastic view. Here, I'll give you a quick look. That's what we have this morning. Mount Yote on the right, Mount Shitibetsu on the left, basking in the glorious sunrise. Very, very nice. So today, the theme for Carmentary for the next 10 minutes or so is going to be a little review and chat about Universal Studios Japan, which I went to last week. For those of you who watch all of my YouTube videos, I did some vlogs down there. Went down with the family. It was the completion of a cycle. I took all of our 3 daughters, one time each, solo, just me and my daughter, first Sienna when she was 6, and then Safia when she was 6, and then Kashmia when she was 6. She turned 6 in August. We delayed the trip a bit and went down last week. For the final one, there was a few twists and turns. My mother was visiting from the United States, so we kind of combined that little family visit with the Universal Studios tour. And in the end, I spent one day alone with Kashmia in the park, and then the next day we all went in together as a family and kind of enjoyed it together. And that was sort of the seal on the package. That was the end of the program. So I've been to Universal Studios Japan 3 times over the last 6 years, and I've seen it grow and develop and change a bit. So I feel like I have a bit of a foundation. I think I can talk about it without being a complete idiot. First of all, it's definitely worth it. I think it's a good theme park. It's in a good location. I think you're getting your money's worth. You know, theme parks, ski resorts for that matter, ticket prices are expensive. We did a 2-day pass, but you know, you're looking at what was it? I think it was like $160 US for the 2-day pass, something like that. The 1-day basic pass is somewhere around 7,000 yen. I'll go back and check on that in detail. But you know, it's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculously overpriced, because in my thinking, the stuff that is crammed inside that park, the total amount of entertainment that you have access to within that boundary is pretty amazing. Especially now. When I was there 6 years ago, there was no Harry Potter. There was no Jurassic World. There was a lot less. So when Sienna and I went there, we actually, when she was 6, it was kind of tricky. We had a lot of fun, and she rode a lot of the rides, but there was some stuff that's kind of scary. You know, everything is built to have a little thrill and a little kind of scare. It's not Disneyland. It's not Mickey Mouse. You know, it's Universal Studios. It's a little more adult. So there were a lot of things that she wasn't into and she didn't want to ride. So it felt like we weren't getting the full use of the park. I think now, 6 years on, they've built so much more stuff in there. The Harry Potter world, although it's built and designed to be a little bit scary, Kashmia she'd seen the movies. She was not scared at all. She loved it. She was stoked on that. The Jurassic World, the dinosaurs, you know, loved it. So there's a lot of value in there for the ticket entrance fee. I don't have a problem with that. I said it in my vlog, and I'll say it again here. My recommendation for a family, or even a couple, or even if you're going solo, if you're going to do the 2-day thing, get that express pass on the 2nd day. If it's your first time going, you're going to go in and be like, oh, and you're just gonna wanna go around and check everything out and ride different rides and see what you like. And then on the second day, you can buy this express pass, which there's two types, I think. One lets you pick 3 rides that you get in the fast lane for. So that's good. I think it's like another 4,000 yen or 5,000 yen extra. And you buy that, then you get in the fast lane. And I'm telling you, no one seems to buy that pass. That express line was empty, like really, really empty. So if you have that, you're getting on the rides way faster than anybody. You could ride 2 to 3 times as many rides if you have that express pass. So you're paying for it, but I think it's worth it if that's what you're there for. If you're there to ride rides and get a lot of action in, you should get the express pass. The more expensive express pass works for everything. You don't have to pick rides. You can just get it and just go. And then you're like, you're the boss, man. You feel like such an idiot standing in that line, and then people come in with the express pass and they're just like, and they kind of give you this look like, you know. But, you know, I think we didn't do it. I didn't get the express pass, but next time, girls get a little older if we go back, and we definitely want to go ride a bunch of stuff, because it gets crowded, man. We were there Monday and Tuesday, and, you know, I can't imagine what it's like on a weekend. It must be freaking crazy, because it was packed on a weekday. Okay, so that's my thing with the tickets. Now, once you're inside, technically you're not supposed to bring in food. They check your bags, security check, you know. But you can sneak in a few little snacks at the bottom of your bag. They're not gonna, you know, they're not that strict with the security check. But, you know, it's kind of tricky to bring in like a big bento box with sandwiches and stuff. So you're gonna end up eating the food that they have in the park, which is pretty shitty. Like any, you know, you can't expect it to be great either. There's a few decent spots. I recommend the Chinese. The Dragon's Pearl, that's what it was called. The Dragon's Pearl Chinese food, I think, was one of the better choices there. Everybody liked that. The only thing that really kind of, well, it bothered me a bit, and it bothered my wife a bit. The display of capitalist skill is pretty phenomenal. I understand how the world works. Universal Studios is an American corporation, capitalist all the way. The ticket price, some people think that's ridiculously expensive. I think it's a good value for what you get. I think they're keeping it right at that line where you feel like, oh, I definitely got my money's worth on the ticket. But where they really get you is when you get inside, and obviously the food prices are going to be expensive. There's a lot of other stuff in there, though, that's built into the park that gets you to keep spending that money. So the ticket price is just, it's half of what you're actually going to spend. And I think you got to realize that. Especially if you go with a family and you have kids. Kids are pure and innocent, at least at the age that our kids are. They don't really understand where the money's coming from. They don't understand how much, you know, what's expensive, what's not. Kashmia, 6 years old, has no clue. They got those carnival games where you can like throw, or you shoot something and knock down some cups and you can win a stuffed animal. And, you know, those games are built, they're games of chance. They're like carnival games. There were people winning it, but we played it twice. It cost 1,200 yen each time for 4 chances. So we had a total of 8 chances. I spent 2,400 yen and we got nothing. And Kashmir was kind of disappointed. Probably could have just gone and bought the stuffed animal for that, but we didn't. So, and once you played the game of chance and lost and spent the 2,400 yen, don't really feel like going in and just buying a stuffed animal. It's like, nah. So we ended up not getting one, or she ended up not getting one. So there's that kind of thing. There's other things like the face painting. We did the face painting. I thought it was very cute. Kashmia wanted to get her little face painted. But the way they have it built is that, you know, you have a little menu that you choose from, and they start from 2,000 yen. But then the staff says, oh, these are holiday edition special face paintings. They're only available this month. And those, of course, are 2,500 yen. And of course, she's gonna want one of those. So you get that, you go to the counter, and then at the counter, after you've decided on the face paint you want, they offer you up little like little beads, like little jewels that they can add, little sparkly things that girls love. And of course she's gonna want that, and that's like another 800 yen on top. So it ends up being like 3,200 yen or whatever. And you're like, ah man, I really kind of got suckered into that one, you know? So the way everything is built, it's all like, you know, at the end of the day, you feel like a fish at one of those fishing ponds, you know? It's just like, you just keep getting hooked, and you're like, oh, I should have seen that coming. But you're like this stupid fish. So you just forget. And then you get back in the pond, and you're like, whoo, that looks yummy, boom, and you get hooked again, you know? So basically, we're all a bunch of stupid fish in a pond. That's what I'm trying to get at here, okay? I know I'm kind of bitching and moaning. I think, you know, if you're super wealthy and you just don't give a shit, this is obviously not going to concern you. But if you kind of work hard for your money, like most of us do, and, you know, you want to go and have a good time with your family, but you don't want to leave feeling like you got raped, you know? It's kind of tricky. You have to have the right mental attitude. You have to have some kind of preparation. So I thought I'd kind of mention that to everyone. You know, go in and expect that, prepare for that. You know, sneak in some little snacks so that you don't have to buy those stupid sugar-coated churros they sell. Those things, nasty, man. They were selling like nasty churros. We bought one, I had a little bite. That thing was nasty. Even Kashmia, kids can finish like any sugary thing. She could not even finish it. That's how bad it was. So bring in some little snacks so the kids can like have something and you don't have. Sorry folks, where were we? My battery died on my little GoPro session, so I've changed to the GoPro 7. So you may see a nice improvement in quality. Okay, so just to wrap this up, I think bringing those little snacks in helps. Another thing I thought of that would be a good piece of advice for families, I didn't actually try this, but I would do it next time if I went. I would give an allowance, I guess you could call it, or a limit of money to each kid that they could spend in the park, and then let them figure it out. So that every time they buy something, you know, it minuses down until they get to zero. So, and that's obviously up to each family and how much money you want to spend, give your kids. But, you know, if you gave your kids $100 each, or each amount in 10,000 yen each to spend in the park, then it's probably going to be a lot more fun for you and for them. And it's kind of a good little learning experience to go in and go, okay, well, this carnival game costs 1,200 yen. So do I want to do it or not? You know, I don't know. It's one way. It depends how you're parenting and what you think about your thoughts on that. But I thought in the future I might do that, because what I found is that the kids obviously just want stuff and want tastes and new experiences, and there's no real kind of thought behind it, you know. And at some point you're gonna go, no, you can't have that. No, I'm not gonna buy that. And you're gonna throw up the wall, you know. And then you create this sort of friction and this disagreement between you and your kids. And the whole point of going to a theme park or going anywhere as a family unit is to have fun and to create stronger bonds within the family unit. So when you throw up that wall and you start being like, No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go eat that hamburger. No, we're not going to go play that game. It's just no fun, you know. It just ruins it for you. I'm sure it's ruining it for the kids because they're like, you never buy me anything I want, you know. And that's not cool. So trying to find little ways around that, and I thought that would be cool. I wish they had like those point cards like you have for the trains, like the Suica or the Pasmo like we have here in Japan, where you just put the card and beep, it minuses out whatever the cost is. That would be great, because then you could, like, you know, give one to each kid and they could just run around and spend all their money until they're happy, you know, or leave some for next time, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't think they have something like that. I think you can pay for pretty much everything in there with the credit card. So maybe you could do it with some kind of little debit card kind of thing. Could be possible. Something to think about. Anyway, final overview of the park. Again, it's way better than it was 6 years ago. Definitely worth a visit. If your kids are under 6 years old, I think it's a little tricky. I would go to Disneyland unless you have a specific reason to visit Osaka and Universal Studios Japan. There are rides and sections for the little kids, but it's quite limited. The age range is definitely, you know, the peak is between, like, it's not really an age, it's a height thing, but kids got to be over 122 centimeters to ride most of the rides, and over like 130 or 32 to ride the really bigger rides. And there are a bunch of new, really amazing roller coasters. The Flying Dinosaur, which is in the Jurassic World section, that was intense. It's it's a crazy long ride with loops and twists and all the roller coaster maneuvers, but you do it in like this kind of laying down position. You get in the chair and then it goes zzz, so you're like looking down. Goes through all the maneuvers, it does some loops, so then you're looking up and going backwards. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's long. It's definitely worth it. I don't know if I would stand in line for 80 to 90 minutes to ride it. And that's what the wait times were during the peak hours. We got there early and we got on the single line, waited about 20 minutes. I'm happy with that. But 80 or 90 minutes, man, ooh, that's kind of long. What else was good? The Harry Potter theme ride, that opened a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They did a renewal on it. It's pretty wicked, man. I think the roller coaster and ride design skills are just fantastic right now. You know, the Flying Dinosaur is one, and then the Harry Potter ride is kind of like a 4D thing. You're in this 4-person car and you're like doing all these maneuvers, but you're wearing the 3D glasses and you get the sensation of flying. They blow heat on you, there's smoke, there's like water. It's a real 4D experience. We rode it like 4 or 5 times and I saw new stuff every time. It was pretty amazing. So good on you for Harry Potter. And just that whole Harry Potter area, the castles and the stores and everything it's spot on. And when you're in there, it's built so that you can't see like any other stuff. You can't see any other parts of the park. You can't see any other city views of Osaka. So you're like, it's immersive. You're really in the Harry Potter world. And that is pretty cool. And you don't get that in any other parts of the park. So I'm down with that. And in closing, the other thing I noticed that has changed over the last 6 years is the way people who visit the theme park do this kind of cosplay kind of character assimilation. What is it? It's like when you go into the Harry Potter thing, everybody's like wearing the capes and the stall and they got the wands, and I'm not talking about little kids, I'm talking about the grown-ups. like everybody, I didn't see that like 3 years ago. And I definitely didn't see that 6 years ago. The other thing is they're selling these hats and these things you put on your head. There was one that's like a little dinosaur with its mouth open, and it's like, it looks like it's biting your head. And it's like, it's kind of this cute little thing. It's a Jurassic World thing, obviously. And there were like all these like grown men, like dudes like older than me, walking around with this little dinosaur biting their head like all day, and they're just like acting like it's not even there. I didn't really get it. I would never. Okay, there was another one. There's a bunch of them. There was the Snoopy one. That was like these long Snoopy ears. It's like a little thing you put on, and it's got the Snoopy ears. And the other one that really got me was kind of a winter hat. It's like this huge stuffed animal head that's a hat. And there were a ton of people who bought that and were walking around with it. And there was a shark one, there was a Snoopy, there was the Minions, there was, God, I can't even remember. There was a bunch of different variations. And they're mass, I'm telling you, they're huge. It's got to be heavy on your head. And it was not that cold, to me at least. That thing on your head for more than 10 minutes has got to be really obnoxious. But people, there were a ton of people who were buying that and wearing it all day. Not just wearing it to take like a photo or two. They were serious about it. And I don't know, that culturally, I guess it's something that I kind of missed. I don't know. I'm not dissing it. Okay, I'm dissing it a little bit, but I'm not dissing it like massively. I think it's cool and it's fun. It's fun to see. And I think if you're gonna do that, a theme park is like a great place to do that. But I just thought it was kind of unique and culturally kind of like, wow, where are we going with this, you know? It's kind of interesting. So, oh yeah, and there were like two guys, this was weird. There were two guys dressed in full Pirates of the Caribbean garb, like big time. Makeup, wig, costume, the whole thing. Like, both me and Kashmir were like, we did like a major double take. They were so good that I was like, oh, there's some new characters walking around the park. And then I realized that Pirates of the Caribbean is Disney. It's not Universal. So these were just some guys who thought, oh, let's just dress up as Pirates of the Caribbean and go to Universal Studios for the day. Which is kind of like, it's kind of weird, because do you think they did that just to kind of screw with them? Just be like, or did they just like not really think about like Disney, Universal? It's kind of like, it's like dressing up as a Minion and going to Disneyland. You know, like, there's no Minions in Disneyland. It's Mickey would probably come up and be like, boom, get out of my park. But I didn't see that. Universal Studios didn't seem to mind Pirates of the Caribbean walking around their park. So in closing, go alone or go with the family, but be prepared to spend like 30,000 yen a day. Ticket, food, gifts, games, stuffed animal, hat, Harry Potter wand, all that stuff. You're gonna buy it. I'm telling you. And it's gonna cost you about 30,000 yen a day to do all that. The Harry Potter wand is 4,900 yen. Just so you know. A little stick in a box. Although now they're built in with a little infrared tip. So around the park they have these little spots where you can go and make your little wand motion. And if you do it correctly, like, some magic happens. Like candles light up or music plays. They've got these different things. It's actually pretty cool. So if It's like a little, it's not just a stick in a box anymore. It's a stick in a box that can do things. So you can take it around the park, and you know, if you buy one and then you come back next time, you should bring it back because it'll still work. All right, I could keep going on forever, but I'm about to arrive at my destination. I hope you enjoyed that. It's probably a little long-winded. I'll be back again with another edition of Carmentary, because I love driving in my car and I love talking to myself.
This is the channel you need, so subscribe and follow Carmentary.